What is going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody's doing well, keeping your distance away from other human beings and all that stuff so that we can knock this virus out. That's the whole goal. That's what we want to do. Just stay at home, wash your hands. That's all we got to do. Yeah, so we've been covering a lot of KAWPOW. We're going to continue on. We're basically just scratching the surface. There's lots of different configurations, lots of different GPUs to test and things like that. I don't have that many different types of GPUs for us to test, but I'm doing what I can. So tonight we're going to look at more into how to mine Ravencoin TESTNET KAWPOW algorithm using SimpleMining OS and NVIDIA GPUs. And last night we did AMD. So tonight we'll do NVIDIA using SimpleMining. And a real quick shout out to David Rush. He actually subscribed last night and I missed it because I saw it. I saw the graphic show up, but I didn't catch his name. You know, it gives you a little graphic and a little indication that it's called a widget, I think. So it gives you some little indication that someone subscribed during the stream, and just want to give a quick shout out to him. And I also have a little bit of comedy. It's both funny and sad at the same time. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. But it's pretty good. So give me a second here. Let me fire this thing up. I'm only going to play a few seconds of it, but it's still funny. Alright, so I probably messed up the sound, but you probably got the gist of it. It's pretty funny. Seb Green, one of the devs for Swap and some other projects, tweeted this out today. The person is Tim Van Helsdingen. So yeah, if you want to, let me link this video over there. It's pretty funny because it's it's definitely something. You remember the money printer go burr thing, and so it was a good example, not example, but a good rendition of that. So I'll throw that in the chat here. What's up, Nefarious? Yeah, it's a pretty good little video. All right, so now for my video. I'll get back to y'all in just a second. So we might be asking ourselves, okay, why is Ravencoin? I'm going to go kind of fast because I always get a little long-winded and I don't get to the actual mining part of it until too late. So there's some reasons why Ravencoin would want to switch to a ProgPoW variant they call KAWPOW. It's unique to them. But one of the reasons is ASICs are on the network, or FPGA farms too, and they mine an incredible amount of Raven every day. And then lately this has started back up again where they are dumping the Raven on the network, which suppresses the price because they're dumping their Raven. They're, like you can see right here, 4.8 million from sent to Binance from unknown. They track this stuff pretty well. You can see how the miners are broken down, who's doing what. There's a huge part here that is unknown. So you can only, that's 37%. So these are the reasons why they would want to change the algo. And last night I was kind of talking about this, and I believe I was thinking that it could be, because there's a difference between soft fork and hard fork. And I was talking like it was going to be a vote, but I don't think that that's the case. And that is why they were discussing it like they were in those articles, is because basically what you're going to end up with most likely is two versions of Ravencoin, right? Because there's no way that the ASIC farms are going to, I mean, they can't get over to the, well, I guess they could. Wait, no, they would have to create the ASIC for it, so never mind. Yeah, so they would have to, and they're probably already working on it, I would assume. But I don't, again, that's the reason that they're going to KAWPOW anyway, is because it's not going to benefit an ASIC as much as, you know, X16R is right now, right? Or V2 or whatever. So this is what happens. They basically mine up a whole bunch of Raven, they dump it on the network because they have to in order to pay their expenses and hopefully, you know, their return on investment for the ASIC miners that they have manufactured and all that stuff. So this is one of the reasons. This is a big complaint from the community, the Ravencoin community, especially on the GPU side, where, you know, we're just getting hammered in the value, and everything it just stays suppressed so much because of all this dumping that's going on. And there's this saying in scenarios concerning like ProgPoW or KAWPOW in this case, where any new disruptive technology that's entering a market or a space, basically the first one through the door is going to get shot, right? And in this case, it was probably Bitcoin Interest, because Bitcoin Interest was the first ones to adopt ProgPoW, and they are hurting like really bad. I don't even know the true status. I think that on their website at one time they were basically calling it quits, although now if you go to their website, I believe that I think right here there was a message before that said that they were giving it up, or, you know, waiting for the community to take it over or something. So yeah, Bitcoin Interest, first ProgPoW project, and they're in bad shape. You know, you can see the warnings on here on their announcement thread from 2017. You know, talking about being scammer and stuff like that. You know, use it. You know, they just put a warning up here to like proceed at, you know, extreme caution. And then you can see this in the value. I mean, it was worth 20, and I don't want to dwell on this too much, but it was worth $21 at one time. Now it's down to way less than a penny. Just a few sats there. 79 sats right now, it looks like. So yeah, definitely hurting. And if you go to Messari, there's not even, I know I went to CoinMarketCap, I said I wasn't going to do that, but this had I had to look it up over here because there really wasn't much information on it over here on Messari at all. If you go to profile, there's nothing. Yeah, so there's just not much over here in the Messari database other than this quick little chart here. And it's the same, you know, basically the same. Okay. So yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, hopefully, and this comes out, it's like a, what's the word? It's, I'm going to forget the word. Like tactics, whenever you are entering a room, if you're clearing a room, like if you've done any type of close quarter battle tactics before, then it's called the fatal funnel. The first one through the door is the one that usually gets shot, right? If there's a threat on the inside. And in this case, it looks like it was Bitcoin Interest, first one to implement ProgPoW. They're hurting really bad, not in great shape. So now, hopefully, the ones that follow are going to make it, and that would be Ravencoin for one. They're using their own version of ProgPoW. And then there's Zcoin and Veil are also looking at possibly transitioning to ProgPoW as well. So hopefully those projects do well. We'll, you know, it remains to be seen. But that is my take on it, as far as the whole first one through the door gets shot kind of thing. All right, let's see. Now, last night I kind of breezed over this part where we didn't really talk about how to set up a testnet or set up a wallet for testnet mining and all that stuff, because I already had an address, I already had a wallet, a testnet address, and a wallet. It wasn't syncing, but it is syncing now. And that's what I wanted to kind of cover tonight. We are going to hopefully get into the mining part. I'm going pretty fast, so this is good. I'm on track here. So basically, you will go to, if you want to get a testnet wallet that will mine on KAWPOW, right? Then you need to go to, it's not advertised. I think you have to get in the Discord to actually get this link. I don't think you can get to it off of their main website. So I'll post this in the chat over here. And this is the nightly builds location for their what they're working on, right? Like the development builds of wallets and things like that. So if you go over here to that link there and you go to dev builds, then you would click on your platform. In my case, it's Windows. And then you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff, okay? And it can be a little bit confusing, and I think that this is where I got tripped up, because I went down through here and grabbed what I thought was the right one. Whenever I saw PR, I think that that's the first one I grabbed. That's not the one you want. You want to get the latest version that says develop on it. So it's 332 and then develop, and then whichever one. In my case, I grabbed this one right here. You know, it's going to be one of the larger ones. It'll have a 30 megabyte size or so. So I just clicked here, downloaded that, and once I got it downloaded, then you just extract it to a location that you're, in my case, I just threw it in my normal, actually no, that's right, because I was playing around with it, I did put it in a test location here. You can see the location right here. So I did create a new folder in my wallets folder and create a new test location for it, threw it in here, and then I moved it, once it was extracted to here, I moved everything up to this top level, and then I created a shortcut. So this is another important part, and you do have to, as you're installing it and running it for the first time, you're going to get those pop-ups like, hey, are you sure? You have to click more info and allow or run anyway, or whatever the options are. You have to get that, you have to let it through the firewall and all that stuff, you know, do it private, right? So make sure that you remember that if you're installing it. I'm not going to go through the install right now, so I have videos on that on my channel if you want to see about how to install the wallet from scratch. But in this case, it's over here on, go to Raven here, then this is where I extracted it to, and then I actually moved it out of there. So let me get rid of this. And then I just pulled all the files up here, and inside of the bin directory is the actual Qt wallet executable. So I just created, all I did was I created a shortcut here, here, like that. Then I cut it, and then I pasted it out here at the top level. Actually right here. Not top level, but the Raven folder. So I pasted it there. Then, so I'm going to delete this one so that you're caught up with me. Then I just edited that shortcut properties, right? And then that is where you add that testnet to the end of the string there, right? And that will get you to where you're going to start on the testnet. And you can do some other tricks with designating it your own wallet and things like that. I've got videos on that as well. We're not going to worry about that right now. And all I did was I ran it from there, and it fired up in testnet. I'll go ahead and do it again so that you can see. And remember last night I was saying that whenever the wallet fires up and it's green like this, the Raven is green and it says testnet over here, then that means that you're on, you're definitely launching in testnet mode, right? So you can see here I've actually received some mining rewards for these couple rigs that I have online right now, supporting the Ravencoin testnet. And you go over here to receive. I always throw the label of mining up here first. So I'll say like mining like that, and then I'll do request payment, and then that will get you this address down here, right? So, and it'll have a label, you know, of mining. So that's just the way I do it. You can do it however you want, but then you double click on that and you can get your address from there. So I just click copy address right here, and then that's what you would paste into your any location in your mining config that needs your Ravencoin testnet address. So hopefully I didn't go too fast for that. Now, another thing for this is, in order to support the testnet, because what I noticed today whenever I was playing around with this is there were no blocks. Like the Explorer was blank, kind of like it is now. This was blank. I think that I went to the pool. Let's see here. I think I was over on the pool too, and it just seemed like there was nothing happening, right? There was just nothing going on. So in order to help the network out, if you're going to be playing around with TESTNET, go ahead and start a node, run a node out of your wallet. So you would go to Help, and then Debug Window, and then in the console, you'll click Console up here in the console tab. You'll type in set generate, and then true, and then the number of cores that you want to dedicate to mining. In my case, I have an 8-core CPU here, so I'm going to just give it half. You could give it all of it and you probably won't see much of a difference, but I'll just do 4 right now since I'm streaming. And then you press enter, and you can see right here it kind of confirms it as 4 of 8 that are actually mining. So I'm going to let this run because you're going to see more, you will probably see more rewards come in here. And I'm mining more than my fair share here because I might be the only one on the network. If you go to the pool, you can kind of see that. You come over here and go down through all the blocks. You can see anything that says SavageMine or block ring, those are me. So you got one other person here. So every now and then they hit a block too. Yeah, so you know, it doesn't look, in my opinion, this makes me a little bit uncomfortable because it feels like there's not many people doing testnet stuff, right? So yeah, we need to get more people over here and at least test it a little bit, in my opinion. But anyway, maybe people haven't caught on to the fact that they're looking to transition in the beginning of next month. So it's supposed to be around May 6th, I believe. And like I said at the top there, we're probably going to end up with possibly end up with a Ravencoin whatever. It's not going to be classic because I think that one's already taken. There'll be something else, you know, some other, most likely some other version, and then there'll be the GPU KAWPOW version. I think that's the way it's going to work. I don't know, but it just seems like it's leaning that way. All right, so that is, let me check the chat real quick. I don't want to get too distracted by talking to you guys, even though, you know, I like talking to you. All right, cool. All right, yeah, so let's get back to this. Now, tonight I figured we would go with, last night we did AMD on SimpleMining, so I figured tonight we would do NVIDIA on SimpleMining. And I already have a rig up and running, the Kessel rig. Let me make sure I'm not skipping anything here. Let me check my notes. I did want to point out too, if you want to set up in SimpleMining to mine on the testnet, and you're using AMD GPUs, for example, like we were last night, and I actually kind of mentioned this last night, but if you go add group and then enter in KAWPOW, right? So you're doing a search for KAWPOW. You can see right here that Gminer has RX checked and NVIDIA checked, right? So AMD and NVIDIA cards both are checked. But for the KAWPOW version of the KAWPOW algorithm, it's only for NVIDIA. If you try to assign it to Gminer to an AMD rig and trying to test KAWPOW on that AMD rig, it's not going to work. It's going to tell you that that algorithm is not supported by this miner version or something like that. So just keep that in mind. You're not going to be able to do that. You'll have to use NVMiner with AMD to mine KAWPOW. All right. So let's go ahead and create a new group. And we are, oh, you know what? I need to show you where we're at with the sheet here. So this is our sheet that we were working on last night. I figured we would go ahead and add into it as we go. So for AMD, let me go ahead and update this spreadsheet real quick so that we can get the right data in here. This is AMD right here, NVMiner version 29. So I'm just going to grab this whole thing, throw it in the spreadsheet so that we have it documented properly. Got to make that red, it can't be green. All right, so that's our string for NVMiner. And then what did we decide for base overclocks? I think it was, I did play around with this a little bit today because this rig, and you kind of saw it just now too, it's kind of running, it runs pretty hot. At least one of the GPUs. But again, it is that new configuration. It is, you know, the GPUs are a lot closer together, and you can see it right here in this video, where they're actually a lot closer together than they were in the 8 GPU rig, but it still seems like it's enough space in there. Maybe I just need to get some airflow in there because it's a little stale. It's in the garage, so it's quite stale in there. Maybe I just need to get some flow over there to kind of clean that up a little bit and maybe drop the temperature. I'm not going to be mining KAWPOW on this rig. It was just testing. So I'm not really that concerned about it because I normally mine CCX on that rig and it's super cool. It doesn't run hot or anything. So I might not even really address it too much, but I was playing around with it and played around with some, you know, the overclock settings, power, and all that stuff. It looks like right now I've got 1120/50 in there. Let me throw that into the spreadsheet here. I think I have 875 undervolt, and then I think I have aggressive undervolt on right now. So we'll just leave it like that and get back to the NVIDIA stuff here. So this is the NVIDIA rig down here. We've talked about this rig a lot. This is the Kessel rig. It looks like this. And it's 6 10 series GPUs. You know, you got two 1070s, two 1070 Ti's, and two 1080s. So that's what we're going to be dealing with. That is the config. You can see it right here also. Let's go ahead and go to group config. Do an add group. You can just search for KAWPOW, but in this case we know that we're going to be using Gminer. We're going to go use. Group name RBNT for TESTNET, just to separate that out. Put the algorithm in there. I like naming conventions. I like being able to look at something really quick and know exactly what it's for. You can kind of see that in this example. Actually, I'm going to put, because this is YouTube, I'm going to put YouTube on there. All right. Usually for a description, I'll put the type of GPU, then the miner that we're using, and then the pool. In this case, it's miner more. That's probably enough. And would like to point out too that they have upgraded. They've gone from 2.04, they went to 2.05, and then now they're at 2.06 for Gminer. Although the most recent, I think the 2.05 and the 2.06 don't have anything to do with KAWPOW. So anything higher than 2.04 you should be able to use for KAWPOW. So the algorithm, the miner string here, is going to be KAWPOW. And you won't use a personalization string. This is mostly for Equihash coins. In this case, you don't need it. And then, so definitely take that out if you are trying to do this because it's not needed. Server is going to be, I got it copied over here. Plus we have it in the spreadsheet also. We have it in our documentation right here. So that's what we're going to use. Copy the port too, so I'm just gonna have to modify this a little bit. 4505, I believe, right? And then the user, that's your mining address. Refer back to the documentation. It's always nice to have that stuff documented so you can get to it quickly. We'll leave password as X, and the API is 33. That's the port for the API. Don't let me forget, and I'll show you that as well. Show you what that's all about. All right, I am gonna overlook this. Let me not overlook it. That's not the right word, or right term. I'm gonna look over this and make sure it's right. Make sure there's not any weird spaces or anything in there. Looks pretty good, solid. All right, so then we're going to click Add Group. And then we'll go back to Rig List. We will choose the rig, Kessel Rig, Actions, Group Config, and then we're going to choose the group that we just created, which is Ravencoin KAWPOW NVIDIA YouTube. No question there. And then save. And that should kick off a restart of the miner. I'll go in here and get the config string. I'm pretty sure this is going to work, so I'm going to bring this up here real quick. Then the miner is gminer 2.04 or higher. Overclock settings. I did create a OC group for this. You see it right here. Right now I have, let's see, you'd have to document, you know, which, especially if you've got a mixed rig like this. I've got, you know, 3 different types of GPUs. So you would have to know which one is which. And if you need to know, you would go out to your rig list and then go to the information button here. And then you can see which GPU is numbered which right here. You can just document that. So that way you know which one you're assigning the group or the OC to, right? Because whenever you're using these commas or these, you know, different values for each GPU, you need to know which one is which. So you can see the 500s are the 1070s on the memory, and then 800 is either the 1070 Ti or the 1080. And on the core, I've got 100 for all of them. And then you can see the power settings down here too. All right. So let's see if this thing fired up here. Could have done it from there. I don't know why I didn't. So if we scroll down here a little bit, we can see what's going on. Looks like it is mining. At a quick glance, I can see that the mega hash are within, you know, the range that is expected for these GPUs. So that's good. Then you would want to look at your kilohash per watt, and we've got the spreadsheet for that as well to document the profit calculations. And I think I've already entered in a lot of this. This should be pretty accurate right here, so you can kind of get an idea of what you will expect. Although I think I had a little bit more power. No, actually, okay. So maybe what we're seeing here is simply because it just started up. So maybe these values will increase a little bit over time. Looks like maybe. You know, it's kind of hard whenever you first configure a miner. A lot of times it takes a while for it to steady out and get super accurate settings or consistent settings. So this is what I was getting earlier today. Oh, that's not right. Got kind of squirrely on me there. So this is the 1070. This is the 1070 Ti right here. And then this is the 1080. I'm sorry. This is the 1080. This is the 1070 Ti. All right, so I think that I covered pretty much everything I wanted to, and it's just 10 o'clock, so that's pretty good. We did pretty well. Oh, look, we just got we got some more mining rewards here. So let's go to our wallet, check that out real quick. Yeah, see, we just got 124,575 more fake Raven. All right, so let's see here. Let's see if Brandon Coin's live. What am I doing here? Sorry, I had to play that again. All right, so yeah, he's live. Let's go ahead and head over there and do the whole Savage raid, and hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already and all that stuff. Be sure to head over to Brandon Coin. I'll see y'all over there. Yeah, make sure you do the Savage raid, and I'll see y'all over there. Stay savage, everybody. See you tomorrow.